It's time to mourn the end of the season. We'll dive into that, plus the transfer portal here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show, a Hog Media production presented by Sleeper. I'm your host, Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet and like, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. You don't think we deserve it? Go ahead and give us 5 anyway and gift it. So, on today's episode of the Sooner or Later Sports Show, we got a lot of cool things to dive into, a lot of things to talk about. First and foremost, we're going to mourn the end of the season because Oklahoma did not close out the game they should have. We're going to talk about the transfer portal. We're also going to dive into what should come next for the Sooners. Once Coop jumps in here, he'll give you his thoughts on the game and all of that. Plus, we'll take all your fans' thoughts and your questions and comments and all of that stuff. So, thank y'all for pulling up here on this Sunday. The season, unfortunately, is over. Kind of breaks all of our hearts, but at the same time, we understand that, life happens. So, we appreciate the fact that, you guys have rolled with all of us today. So, it's been a great, of course, season for us. It's been a great year. We've been seeing and getting some good content with you all, some good reactions. We miss every single one of you. That's weird that I froze, but looks like I am back. Coop has jumped in here. Coop, how's it going, my man? Happy Sunday.
Sorry. This is a tardy slip. It was my mom's fault.
I love it. We'll blame moms, but hey, we still love moms and hope moms is doing well. Yeah. But we're here to start off with the one thing that I want to provide for everybody is this is your final day of mourning. The season ended Friday night. Sooners lost to Alabama at a terrifyingly terrible score of 34 to 24. Oklahoma looked like they had a chance of doing something special, and they just did not close out on it. With that being said, I'm giving everybody permission to have their final mourning moment as we prepare to start look over to 26. You kind of got to look forward. It was a great season. It was great fun. It's been great covering it with you all, me and Coop. Coop, I know you haven't got a chance to really dive into your feelings and everything from the game because, I always do a morning after. And so, talk to us, man. How you feel about everything?
I mean, you zoom out, right? Like that's the first thing I said to you is if you zoom out and you take a look at what you felt like after the Navy game last year. As Hank's saying here, you got a 7.5 win at most. Over under, or I guess win total in Vegas. You get towards the you get to the beginning of the season. Michigan comes in. So I just say you zoom out. If somebody says, "Hey, listen, you guys, we're going to the playoffs next year," as a step forward, we're going to go to the playoffs. Not going to be 8-4. Not going to be 9-3. We're going to be 10-2. We're going to go to the playoffs. We're going to have to beat Alabama for the second time in the year. We're going to come out. We're going to show that this can be a dominant team, but we're going to fall short in the end. I think every single Sooner fan is like, where do I sign?
Sign me up.
Yeah. So now the reality is we can't always just zoom out, right? So game starts off. I was with the, two of my friends, Keith and Steven, and they came over to my house and we all watched, made way too much food for 3 people. But we get up 17-0 and I'm all happy and everything. And Keith looks at me and he goes, "This is amazing." And I said, "I saw the Georgia game, so I'm not going to just lose my mind at this point."
Oh, here.
And he was
it
like,
was you. It was you.
It was me.
Yeah. I knew it.
I saw several tweets that said the same thing. So then obviously at the end of all of it, you're playing in the playoff against a team that is who they are, right? It's still Alabama. Now, Alabama could go out and win a close game, win a seemingly close game, or get blown out or something like that next week, and that has nothing to do with us.
Yep.
But the frustrating thing is you were working Alabama, dominating in every aspect of the game. 2 straight 3-and-outs. It wasn't looking good. And then you had the material pass, you had the drop punt, you had the pick six, and everything snowballs like crazy. And you just can't. And even, I'm not gonna lie. Like, even just 2 or 3 minutes left in the game, you're like, we can still do this. Like, that's what this team did to us this year was you could still make a run at this, and it gave you the hope and it gave you the belief. And I think that my belief finally went down the tubes with the first field goal miss. When that happened, I was like, well, shit. There it is. So we should all blame me for this. Yes. Yep. This is it.
I think everybody needs to read this. We're going to put this on the screen for everybody. Yes, we're going to blame Coop for this. No, kidding. Oh, kidding aside, no. He gives it a thumbs down.
I deserve it. I will go cover Oklahoma State now.
No. Do not.
4 wins this next year.
Stinky.
But I just, I echo what you were just saying, Jay. We all have been doing this battle together here for a couple years now, and we have fun stuff to look forward to. I saw somebody make a comment about how it took Kirby 7 years to win the national championship. There's a lot of hope to look forward to. Every single bit of what we've been doing in coaching, recruiting. The thing is this is difficult, right? This is difficult. I was dead set wrong on, beating Alabama a second time was going to be easier because I thought we were going to be healthier and they were a hurt team. But Jay, the moment that you, I think that, if you can make God bleed, people will no longer, believe that he is God. The moment that you let a hurt team have some hope and you give them an opening, it's still a playoff team. It's still Alabama. Those are still 4 or 5-star athletes. And the moment that you give them that opening, and they're going to take it. And at that point, then they become the people with the momentum. So, yeah, I was upset. At the end of the game, said bye to everybody. I saw that you were on Locked On. I kind of watched for a few minutes. And then I thought, I'll go watch the Thunder. And that didn't go too well either. So I was like, I'm not going to watch any more sports this weekend.
Yeah, it was a brutal weekend for it. My Buccaneers lost this weekend too. Baker threw an interception to close the game out. Just great timing on all that, right? So, no, I wanted you to get that out. That's why uninterrupted. Want to give you the first, 6-7 minutes of just kind of getting your feelings out. So we're going to talk and break down the game and really talk about it. But I want to give you that. A couple of things I want to talk about real quick in the comments section. If people are asking, I think there's been like 12 or 13 people ask the same question about Kobe McKenzie in the portal. We will talk about the portal, I promise you. And I have an explanation as to why. Plus, I got a couple other players I'm expecting to hit there as well. We'll talk about that, though. It'll be after the commercial. But right now, I kind of want to close out. Like I said, I want to close out this game. And I'm going to close out this season because now we really are in the mode of looking at 2026. I've gone back and watched the game an unhealthy amount of times. I think I've watched it 5 times, and I've watched it all 22 probably 4 times as well. I've just gone back and watched plays. I've gone back and looked at scenarios, and I'm going to say this for those in the comments that have already lost their minds. Please don't say stupid stuff. I'm going to do a good job of not calling anybody stupid today. Please don't say stupid stuff. It makes no sense. Let's be realistic here. This team balled out up until everything fell apart. The preparation for this game and everything I talked about, how Oklahoma could win this game, was that the 2 phases that have carried us this entire season were the 2 phases we're going to have to win this game for us. And that was the two phases that actually lost us this game, which is the most depressing part. Your special team struggled. Sandell did fine. He kept his streak alive. But when the game got to where it was in the clutchiest of clutch, the bad juju was already there. And so Titanium Leg missed those 2 kicks. Honestly, I don't even blame him on those. And I say that because the game was already basically out of reach at that point. We were already in the bad juju area. But Grayson, my boy, Miller, it was just like, it was funny seeing the post Coop of people like, that man's going to Vegas. He's got some money coming to Vegas, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that he wanted to purposely end his season that way. But at the same time, that's all jokes aside. Man, he had a bad showing. That was so bad. And I say that because the 2 times Bama got in the end zone outside of that long drive they did where we were missing tackles was short fields. Were very short fields. That is, to me, what really cost us. Once we gave them short fields, we were cooked. And we did. We gave them really good field positioning in a lot of the game. Now, with that being said, Coop, talk about some of the elephants in the room. We outgained them by 102 yards. Bro, how do you outgain them by 102 yards and lose like that? Terrible, man. Terrible. Just bad field positioning. It was bad. Crazy, right?
Flip. It was the flip of the game earlier in the season.
Full flip.
Offense. And I think it would have been an exact match if X-Rob catches that pass. X-Rob catches that pass. I mean, that's 60 yards on top of Interior's total. Yeah, I mean, that's just, I mean, it just is what it is. But I would like to get an explanation on the Grayson Miller situation. I really would, because I just don't like. I've never punted in a game at all. I've kicked the football before. I've never punted in a game. Never been instructed on how to punt. But I also don't think that I don't know, since I became a post-pubescent child, I don't think I've ever just dropped the ball, not flinched, not even swung my foot. It looked curious. It looked really, really odd.
It did.
Now, I'm not saying that Miller was paid off or anything, and if something like that came out, that would be, really, really bad. But it literally looked like dude just froze in the moment. And that's deer in the headlights. If you've ever, by definition, it was awful. But
yeah,
you give Alabama the big pass where you miss it, and they didn't have to earn it. That's the thing if you're one of the people says John should have run, that's 100% revisionist.
We'll get there in a minute. We'll get there in a minute.
But you go from this big, long drop, then they turn around and then another drop by the punter. And it just was what it was at that point. And this defense so many times this year has, and even last year has had to, go back on the field, in an instant after like a WTF moment and do it. And to think that like they're going to do it for 2 straight seasons and never have like have a series where it's just not going to look good.
Yeah.
They fought their ass off. So like you were saying, Jay, you gave them the short yards and with the mistakes, and they took advantage of them.
Yep, that's exactly it. And Johnny Boy, happy holidays. I appreciate you pulling up. Definitely. Like it's just, looking at the numbers here, overall wasn't bad. We were 7 for 18 on third, which was pretty solid. They were 2 for 12. Like all the stuff that typically works for Oklahoma in their favor, 33 in the time of possession to 26. The only thing that got us was the interception, which is what I expected. I expect us to throw an interception every game. That's just the expectation of mine. And we'll talk about that in a second when we talk about offense. But really, those 2 phases just vanished. Like they just did not exist. The punt, and you could tell somebody had posted on X and they had asked the question about I'm not a kicker, but what do you see in this sequence? And someone he said, hey, I was a punter in D1 football, blah blah blah. The ball slipped out of his hands, and you can tell, and he completely lost his rhythm. And I looked at it, I'm like, snap, it did. Didn't really notice that, but it slipped to where he didn't throw it where he wanted it to go to punt. To me, whenever it fell, he should have picked it up and tried to run it. Because if he'd ran to the left, buddy, he probably would have gotten at least to the line of scrimmage. But yeah, that just didn't work out. And then he shanked the other one, and he's just like, oh gosh. Now that's the thing about Grayson. Like, you gotta love him and hate him in that capacity, because all season long, he's either kicked it beautifully and it's been like inside the 20 with the perfect roll, or it's been shanked. It's been one or the other. But he's done more good kicks than bad. It's just this game we did not get that. And that to me is really your turning point, because that's where all that field positioning changed, was right there. It was like everything went straight lemon booty. Everybody just started puckering up, and it just, the moment was too big. I definitely want to talk about Mateer in a second. I still want to, but I do want to wrap up this on defense. Because Coop, this is the thing that got me on the defensive side of the ball. Cuevas was out there moving around, getting open. Nobody was watching that dude. That upset me a lot. Like I said, we're mourning the end of the season, and we're going to look into 26, because I feel like this season was a great build to go into next year. But dog, Cuevas was open. Like, he had a couple catches. I'm just like, no, don't let him be open there. What are we doing? He should be watched. Now, Brooks, the true freshman, I can't be mad at that situation. Why? We ain't seen him this year. This was a new development situation. Ryan Williams had 1 catch for 5 yards, who you thought was going to beat your tail. Jeremy Menard, 3 catches for 40 yards. Not terrible. Not great, but not terrible.
Yeah.
But Brooks, 5 for 79, those 2 touchdowns. The 1 touchdown where it seemed like nobody wanted to tackle him, and he did like a super spin move. He did like a Kamehameha flip in the air in there, like Dalsim from Street Fighter. And he landed in the end zone. I'm just like, what? Did nobody want to tackle this man? Like, what are we doing?
It's almost like everybody was rushing to hit him hard, and then the angles just were just bad. But you know, that's not the play that I could get too frustrated about. You know, the Horton catch over the back of Jacoby Johnson. Like, guys, I'm not going to be upset about that. That's a guy that's supposed to be a first round draft pick.
Yeah,
and he made a great play. You know, defensive back's right there. He just made a great play. I mean, that's what, you know, those things happen. But, you know, what was the outside of that? I mean, the guy, it's not like he was out there just running all over the place. I mean, that long, it was 37. So he had 4 catches for what? 27th on yards. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Outside of that. So Ryan Williams, again, still has, I mean, that's 3 games, and he has not reached 100 yards cumulatively yet. I mean, I don't know, Jay. I you know, there's the adage of like the defense played well enough to win the game. When snowballs start snowballing, it's hard. And
this wasn't one of those scenarios where typically your defense could have won you this game, because it was on that 34-7 run. You saw the defense just was not closing out the way that you really needed them to close out. Like, I was looking at the possessions, and I'm just like, these aren't that bad, but man, we were giving up back-to-back scores. You know, something that we weren't doing before. We were giving it up. I mean, the offense was doing some long drives. Because what's funny to me was the whole talk this entire time was, and we're going to jump into the offense here, was that can Oklahoma score points? We 100% went out there and did it. That's the crazy part. The offense went out there and did it, Coop. Let's talk about that first. Before we keep going, let's talk about our partners over there at Sleeper, our presenting sponsor for the channel. We have to give them a shout out. If you have not checked them out for daily fantasy ball, you are missing out. They're more than just season-long fantasy, and they've got some great promos and options. Like right now, if you use our promo code UNFAIR, they're going to give you $20 just for signing up. And if you decide to make a deposit, use our promo code. They're going to match your deposit at 100% up to $100. And so all you do is go inside of the app, pick 2 or more players, pick more or less on their stats, and boom, you are in the game, and you can make up to 1,000 times your money. So turning those game days into paydays. Also, inside the app, cool stuff. They show you live stats. You've got a chat function so you can chop it up with folks about the biggest plays and the biggest players at the time. So if you want to get into the action, you have the opportunity. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to match your deposit at 100% up to $100. And new users, $20 just for signing up. No deposit is needed, so doesn't hurt to try. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Offensive side of the ball was the one where I was just like, how does this happen? 362 yards of offense. Coop, Mateer throws for 300 in this game. Didn't expect him to be able to throw that. Because like I said, the whole conversation was, can Oklahoma's offense even do anything? This dude looked like the Michigan version. He was cutting. The runs were actually pretty good. And we got to talk about that play. The play where I went back and watched it on the All 22. I've watched it probably, I think, a legit 15 times. And there was a couple of things in there that I noticed. First off, Keon Saab with a really good delayed blitz. And if Mateer wasn't Mateer, that's a sack. Because he's going to hit him right in his back, similar to the way Marvin Jones Jr. got Ty Simpson. That's a sack, period. But, of course, he breaks the tackle. When the chaos started, that's when I started to notice things, because when he was there, his head was looking at Caden Helms, and he was about to cock and throw it to him, but he felt that pressure. And thank goodness he did, because if he didn't, I think he may have fumbled the ball. He breaks the tackle, but when he turns around, everybody on the right side of the defense starts following him. But you had X-Rob, who had continued his route as if he was trying to clear out. And so when Mateer's running forward, he had 2 options. I'm sorry, he had 3 options. 1, he could have ran it and got the first down. Probably should have done that if you really think about hindsight being 50-50. Option 2, which I understood why he did it. X-Rob had stride. He hit him right in his hands. If X-Rob catches that, good chance he breaks the tackle and he's going in for the touchdown. Didn't work out. Unfortunately, he dropped it, which I feel so terrible for X-Rob. Option 3, though, Coop, this is the third thing that I noticed that he probably could have done. If he would have stopped, set his feet, he probably could have hit Caden Helms across the middle. I've had people talk about the Isaiah Satania backside wheel. That only got open because the defense saw Mateer running. That linebacker was following Satania the whole time, wouldn't have gotten there. Unless he set his feet, stopped, and then threw it, he probably could have led him and got him wide open. But, man, it was a lose-lose situation for him. And this is why I say it was lose-lose. He runs, he gets the first down. Everybody's going to say, he was wide open on the field. Why didn't he throw it to the wide open guy? He threw it to the guy because it made sense to chunk it down there, and he threw a really good ball, even all contorted. He threw a good ball. Unfortunately, he dropped it. Now everybody's saying, he should have ran the ball. No matter what, Mateer was screwed in that. But overall, played as good as he did in the Michigan game. The game that everybody was all excited about him, even with his flaws. Everybody was excited about him at the Michigan game. That's what he looked like. No tape on his thumb. Dog, he looked good. He looked like the Mateer from the beginning of the season.
Every throw was, every throw had zip on it. You heard commentators talking about it. If you were there, you missed that portion. But guys, I'm just going to disagree with you every day of the week. Like, you're a D1, and not like just any D1. You play at the University of Oklahoma. We've been calling for the running back passing game all year long. You throw it to an open guy and he drops it. Like that, it's if he would have ran the ball, and that would have never, we would have never been talking about this, because I still think that, like, somebody would still came back like, oh man, did you see this? Or, oh man, did you see that? But
yeah, no matter what,
you get out there, and John Mateer has been criticized for not being patient enough all season long. When he gets scrambling, he keeps his eyes, everything in front of him, and doesn't keep his eyes downfield. That's a play. I mean, I would venture to say, if you go and you ask every single offensive coordinator in the game, would you rather have him take off running or throw it to that wide open receiver? They're going to say throw the ball. You see it every single, and the fact of the drop makes Mateer's decision like somehow like controversial by people because of how the game ended up.
Yeah.
He was spinning it. Now, moving on from that play, I think he deserves a lot of criticism on the interception.
No, I agree with that. I know what he did. I know what he saw. I went back and looked at it. When I went back and looked at it like 4 or 5 times, I know what he saw. He saw a red helmet. He thought his guy was coming back. So he looked at that red helmet and threw it to the red helmet. Yeah. And was like, oh, crap, that was not the red helmet I was looking for. That's why, and everybody talked about it was a miscommunication. Yeah, he thought Lewis was coming back. Like, he thought Lewis was stopping. But he saw the red helmet and thought that was the stop, and it didn't happen.
And I've heard Lewis was supposed to run a hitch. I don't know if the play would have been different. I don't know if the play would have been different if he would have ran that hitch. Nope. Because dude was sitting out there, and that's kind of his MO.
Yep.
But I mean, this material looked good. We were able to get out there and throw the ball really, really well. There's still a lot of things that he's going to have to work on. I fully agree. You need to go. You need to get yourself into some footwork drills starting yesterday. Footwork and mechanics. You have to because there's a lot of meat left on the bone.
Coop, out of the 14 drives we had in this game, how many 3-and-outs did we have?
I don't think I marked that down, but I would guess 2.
We have 4. We have 4 3-and-outs in the 14 drives we had, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. That is not what I would have thought would have come out of this game in that. And it all happened after everything fell apart. Like before we had no 3-and-outs. 9 plays, 31 yards, punt the ball. 8 plays, 51 yards. Let me show you what I'm looking at. 8 plays, 51 yards, touchdown. 6 plays, 13 yards, field goal. Mainly because, you had to get some good field positioning. Which I thought Owen had almost blocked that punt. Would have been great. 8 plays, 36 yards, touchdown. Again, remember, the one thing that and this field goal only happened because we got a penalty. We don't have to kick that field goal if we don't go third and like 8 million because we get a penalty on 3rd and 2. Right? Little things. You had that. Now, I've seen people ask the question of why X-Rob only ran the ball 3 times in this game. I'm not sure if y'all noticed, but dude was limping a lot. That's why he didn't run the ball more than 3. That's why Torrey was running it the most of the time, because X-Rob, the knee just wasn't ready. The knee wasn't back to where he wanted. He had the brace on. At moments, he was flying. And what's funny was Mateer throwing him that pass wasn't a surprise to me, because remember on the drive where we got the first touchdown where Mateer ran it in for a touchdown? He threw that pass to X-Rob across the middle, and X-Rob ran it all the way to like the 3-yard line. Made you feel like there's some confidence there, right? Made you understand why, I see why you threw him the ball. Because he was looking pretty darn good. But then you figured out, oh, wait, he really isn't as healthy as you wanted him to be. Just didn't end up being the way you wanted it. Deion Burks gives you 7 catches for 107 yards and a touchdown. Dog, he was getting wide open. Mateer was also layering the hell out of those passes. Like layers. In the wind. That was the thing we were concerned about. It's going to be a little windy, a little gross. That dude was layering passes. So my entire take on all of this is it's something to grow off of. I had mentioned it before. I did a video on this. Shout out to my guy, Barry, and who is it? Ryan Chapman over there at Sooners on SI and Barry Trantham. He pointed out how OCs and quarterbacks' first years in the SEC is usually a kind of a struggle. And then the next year they see a pop. I've talked about it with Pavia. Pavia's first year in the SEC, 2,200 yards passing. He ran like 700 yards, 800 yards. But he wasn't really throwing a whole bunch of passes. He didn't throw a lot of passing yards. This year he got to 3,100. You saw the jump. Him and Tim Beck figured out how to go approach these SEC defensive coordinators. Did better. So, yeah, that's what you got. It was... I think that next year they'll look a lot better. Plus, you'll probably have more wide receivers. I actually expect them to spend pretty heavy and try to get some additional wide receivers in the portal.
I mean, obviously Burke's best game since the Michigan game.
Felt like Michigan all over again.
He definitely. I mean, some of those plays on the sideline. The one where he literally snatches the ball 2.5 yards out of bounds. And I mean, I did not, I thought they were going to overturn that. I didn't think that was going to be it. I was like, hoping,
I didn't either.
My crimson colored glasses were hoping that it'd be inconclusive, but I just did not feel that was going to go down. I mean, let's talk offensive line because I think that's a big piece too.
Buddy, I have to give Kane Womack props.
Yeah.
I have to give him props. We started the game whipping their tail. After EPL got that penalty, Kane got smart. Know what he did? He's like, oh, there's 2 freshmen on that side of the ball. Let me start doing some twists and stunts. So he'd go right at them the first time, wouldn't be successful. The next time, he'd do a twist and stunt, and I saw EPL turned around like 2 or 3 times. And I was like, dang, freshman technique. Isn't that what they were saying about him? That he get that technique down, he'd be good?
I also say this. I mean, you go back to Savion Byrd. You go to EPL multiple times this year. You can go when you see a guy who kind of loses his cool. He's all of a sudden got a pretzel in his head, to quote the great Ricky Bobby. But I think that the moment right after that, it was, all right, let's send some twists at him because he's going to be thinking, all right, man, I can't be out of control. I can't be out of control. I can't be out of control. And it just went on from there.
Yep.
I mean, you got 3 freshmen out there. You've got a guy playing his second career game at center, and Jake Sexton, not Jake Sexton, but Simmons, who is, 1 thump away from back in protocol. They came out and they dictated everything.
Yep.
They absolutely dictated everything. But what I will say this is Womack, I mean, he decided, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to turn this situation back. We're going to put them in conflict every damn snap of the game.
Yep.
They started throwing the house at Mateer, and freshmen were blocking
looking
halfway,
like freshmen.
And then they would look like freshmen, but they were never winning.
Yeah. Yeah, those 4 drives, it was like basically, it was in a 5-drive span, we had 4 3-and-outs, and then we had the touchdown in the middle. It was 2 3-and-outs in a row. Then we scored our touchdown after 50 came out. We'll talk about that in a bit too. And then we went 3 and out again. And that's what it was. There was the drop pass by Satania that should have been a first down. Right? You get penalties that come out of nowhere, and you're like, crap. What was that? Our freshmen struggled in this game for the most part. Like, Fasusi was fine overall. Fogier was not getting to the second level fast enough. Some of those runs could have been a lot faster if he was up there. He's a much better tackle. I think he's going to be just fine at tackle. But at guard, he was not hitting that next level at all. No. And you could see it. And when he was pulling, it was like, he's just not getting there fast enough, dudes. Because you got to remember, Alabama's got talent. That's the thing you got to remember about playing in the SEC. Like, they've got edges and tackles and stuff that run 4.5s, 4.4s, 4.6s, 4.7s, right? They've got fast dudes. So you've got to be able to get there. He wasn't. When he played tackle, he didn't have to worry about that part, right? He was just cleaning up people, and he was good. He was missing on some. Fogier was missing on some. That's where you're like, all right, you'll see the growth out of them next season. You won't have Weiwu in the middle anymore, but you'll have Michaela. She should be healthy at that point, getting past all his elements now. He'll block in the middle. Right guard is the question. Who's going to play right guard? Simpson's going to be Heath. I think Heath will be good there. You may portal in someone just in case too. But right tackle, Fogier is going to be good. Fasusi's going to be good at left tackle. And EPL will get his technique down. He needed more film to see, hey, man, when they do that, don't turn this way. Try to bump and come back, because that's when you're going to be able to catch a stunt or a quick or a switch or a flip. There was so many dang spin moves done, dog. I was so impressed at how they changed the way they were attacking. And that's just the game is the game, right? The good thing is they'll have this defensive line to polish them here in the offseason, because I'm very confident that this D-line is going to look just as good, if not better, next season.
And I mean, I will also say that you're probably looking to bring in some competition. This year, I mean, we've seen the injury reports all year long. When you got 4 guys on there dang near every week, and then when Simmons was out with the concussion stuff, having 5 guys, it's the same situation. When you're reliant on guys who are never reliable, that's tough. And so you get an opportunity to portal in somebody else who can get in here and really, really make a competition.
Yeah.
I mean, I still say this, Jay, is as bad as the game feels, I think I got 2 points, and then we can move on to the next. But number one, if you're an OU fan, you let fandom make some things happen to your brain. You start this year hoping for 8 wins, delusional 9, but what if 10? And then you get to the playoffs, you've already beat this team. You know that you're getting healthier, and it happened to the best of us. Unless you are a doom, you're going to sit there and say, "Oh, we already beat Alabama. Let's move on." And then you're like, "Well, we can beat that next team too." And then, I think we can beat anybody. The fact is I still think this team could beat anybody in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I still do. Now you get one shot. You get one shot.
You only get one.
But the reason why that a lot of us are frustrated right now is because we saw more. We saw too much potential. Yeah. Yes. I will fast forward this. Say we turn around the punt situation never happens. X-Rob catches the ball and runs it in. All of us are gleaning to us making it to the next round, not Indiana, but the next round. And if we would have had this type of game against Indiana, we'd have felt it again. We'd be having the same conversations. It did not matter where we lost. If you had a breakdown on your special teams, if you had a breakdown in areas that you thought we don't even need to pay attention to those because those things are solid.
Yep.
We'd have had this, response. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be frustrated. I'm not saying you shouldn't be pissed.
No.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that you should take a double take at your OU gear because you're not sure if you really want to wear it out into the streets, quite yet. But I still am really, really happy with what happened this entire year. This was tough. This was a tough game, especially coming out. One of my buddies said, well, I mean, at least it wasn't like the Bama Kyler Murray game to where you just get your butt handed to you up front and then make it kind of look like you were going to have a chance at the end.
It was the opposite.
Or the TCU Michigan game. Or is it TCU,
Georgia? It was Georgia.
Game, where you just absolutely get railroaded
the
entire damn game. Like, you should be sick. And the reason why I say you should be sick is because you had expectations. You now have a feeling of what this team can be, and it didn't happen. And I'm not going to say Brent Venables should be should be fired.
Oh, we've already got people already said he should be fired.
Stupid.
And we got our favorite person has been saying it all day, which I said I'm not going to call anybody stupid today, but our favorite person has been saying it all day, and it makes no sense. But yeah, people have already been starting to say that. Like, you got the defense you wanted. Unfortunately, it just this game it didn't hit the way you wanted to. But yeah, there's something to grow on. Your D-line should be all back. Your one of your better young edges is actually both of your better young edges will be back. We're going to talk about the transfer portal because that's going to make some changes here, especially since Kobe hits the portal. But your secondary is going to be intact. You've got a lot of things looking forward to going forward. So because of that, we're going to go ahead and do that. First, I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of picks with our partners over there at Sleeper. If you have not checked them out for Daily Fantasy Ball, y'all are missing out. Y'all know I love what they be doing for us. And right now, if you use our promo code UNFAIR, they're going to match you at 100% up to $100. Plus, they're going to give you $20 just for checking them out. No deposit needed. And so when we look at these picks themselves, let's see. Right now, the Ravens are playing the Patriots tonight. Oh, that decided to go ahead and lose connection. We'll wait for it to connect back to my air real quick. I'm going to take Derrick Henry, of course, on the Moors. I think he's going to score in this game just because he's Derrick Henry. He's a beast. I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to have a good game because he's been struggling all season. But you know what? Take Drake May because Drake May's going to go out there and cook. Stephon Diggs is probably going to throw it to him a lot. Pick two or more players, more or less on the stats, and you're in the game. Use a promo code UNFAIR. They're going to match you at 100% up to $100. Plus, give you $20 just for checking them out. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. I want to start with this, though. You know, one thing that made me excited, made me happy after the game is front office, AD office, whatever. They actually listen to the fans. They listen to the players. They freaking got 50 Cent to pull up for this game. Now, I saw and heard somewhere that 50 didn't make it until like after halftime because of delays and stuff, weather, something. That dude showed up and actually performed. Alabama players losing their mind because they're like, we listened to it on Fridays too. Like, everybody's at the mindset of hard to kill, many men wishing death on me, blah, blah, blah. The good thing is right after that, we go out there and we score. So you're like, all right, we fighting. We got our mindset. But I like the fact that they did listen to him. I like the fact that they leaned in on that. They leaned in on the grimy mindset. They leaned in on the wins ain't going to be pretty, but we're going to go out here and work our butt win. We didn't get it this time, but most of the season, the fact that they were able to do that all year, so proud. I'm proud that they were able to fight and get 10 wins after when your quarterback's hurt for most of the season and you look very pedestrian because of it. Like, that made me proud. That, to me, I'm satisfied with.
I heard the rumor obviously a little while ago, and then I thought that it would be a great idea, and then I was like, I will believe it for real when I see it, when he actually steps out. I actually sent a lot of text messages like, hey, apparently this thing's gonna happen, and people were calling me out and saying, I was like, here's the thing, like, we've been wanting something like just something that you could really feel and rally behind all all year long. I mean, you think about like the beginning of the season with the Toby Keith stuff, and God bless Toby Keith, and he's great for this program, but you just can't get hyped on Red Solo Cup. I'm sorry, unless you were drinking with your buddies. Like,
yeah, we're in there drinking. Let's get some Red Solo Cup going.
That's
cup.
If we're playing beer pong and this is a Mardi Gras type of party, hell yeah, let's do it. But getting 50 in there, that's just kind of a cool thing because you're out there on a Friday night, 50 Cent showing up, and then can we be honest? This was the best game of the 4.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's not even in competition. Like, daughter, and I'll say this: I was kind of forced to be disconnected on Saturday from football just in general. Daughter had like a 4-game soccer tournament. And so I'm outside hanging out with my kids, choosing to be a father. And
that's terrible.
My kid had, my son had my phone at one point, and so I grabbed it. I grabbed it and I was looking at my phone and I see like second quarter 0-0, and I was like, what is this? And I was like, why's my phone not updating? And so like I went to I literally went to 3 different browsers just to make sure that it was like, maybe it's ESPN. So I'm asking Siri and I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Sacrifice a live chicken just to see if I could get my stuff to start working. I mean, that game was, like as a pitcher, I love watching a no-hitter. But when you're watching a football game and you're just like, hey, this is supposed to be 2 offenses that could, really ball out. And then watching the other 2 games, like this game, this OU Bama game, was still the best game of the weekend.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
I mean, so you got that going for you.
Yeah, you had that. On top of that, like I was happy that we played well enough to possibly win. We just shot ourselves in the foot as usual. I do want to say, for those of you that did win the contest of the shirts, I ain't seen any of y'all post that on socials. What we doing here? Huh? Where the love? Why ain't y'all post pictures on the socials? But anyway, besides that part, transfer portal wish list. I'm going to post something on our comments. I want y'all to tell me who y'all want out of the portal, who you see, who you like, who you want. You can post a link. You can do all of that stuff. You can do that. I want you to do that to me. But we're going to start off with this main one. Kobe McKenzie has entered the transfer portal. And I've had so many people ping me and ask me, Jay, what the heck? Why is he hitting the portal? And I'm going to be 100% honest. He played 12 snaps on Friday. Samuel Masigo played 12 snaps on Friday night. It was the Kip and Owen Heineke show. And right now, we need to pray that Owen gets his waiver, which I don't think he will. I'm just going to be 100% transparent and honest. I hate it. I don't think that they're going to give him that. I think they're going to say, well, you played over there at the Ohio States and you did the lacrosse thing. So we can't give you that. They're going to disrespect us. I hate it. It sucks. It's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, I understand why Kobe decided to hit the portal for his final year. He was either going to the NFL or, after one full season for Jim Nagy and his entire front office, I promise you, I think they've gone through with a fine-tooth comb, did a full evaluation of who's on there, and said, these are the players we need to target in the portal to fit exactly what you want to do on defense next year. If you want to make a run. Your quarterback's a senior. You'll have young quarterbacks right behind them that'll be ready to come in if an injury does happen. You'll have a running back that's a junior, a running back that's a sophomore. You're bringing in one of the best running backs in the country as a true freshman, so you'll have another true freshman opportunity. They're probably going to portal another running back as well. The wide receiver room, If they do it right, they may talk Satania into coming back. Add him with Jermichael Carter, who looked really good at the end of the season, especially in the Bama games.
Yeah.
I'm telling you all of this to say, with the secondary that we got, and you get all that defensive line back, they're going to make a run for next year. So him hitting the portal only makes me feel like they didn't see him in next season's lineup getting much game. That's it.
I mean, the conversation with the exit interviews are going to be, all right, so here's your role going into next season. I mean, and I'm just going to go with a look at the OKC Thunder. At the end of the year last year, you started seeing this guy who'd been hurt all year start to really kind of show some pop. And going into that, off season, you had to have those conversations with a lot of different guys. Like, your role's going to diminish here. If you want to stick around, we'd love to have you, but this is your place. You're going to be the rotation in linebacker. You're not going to be the starter as a senior.
Nope.
And Kobe is a great leader on this team, and I wish every ounce of great for him.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I have no animosity with this, but it is a conversation, and it's not. I would rather them talk to him appropriately and give him the layout of what it really is probably going to look like. Say, these are the things that I think that you can improve on. This is what we need you to do. We don't think that the improvement scale is going to put you there. So at this point, and Jay, I just want to throw out another portal guy because hopefully he's listening with Kendall Dolby. You and I broke down Kendall Dolby, kind of what happened, had that conversation about him. And then Kendall sent me a message. And he said, a lot of people have crucified me on what I did, what the situation is, but you and Jay really nailed it.
We know the situation, man. It really was the depth chart. KD5 showed out. He got better. I remember hearing at the beginning of the season, KD5 was dealing with something with his Achilles. And that was kind of slowing him up initially. He got healthy fast. RP3 started to look good. He's starting to look like the player that we hoped he'd look like. And because of those two things, Dobie ended up falling out of the rotation. Your corner emerged with Cortland Guillory. Jacoby Johnson actually gave you some great minutes. Eli was solid. When Gentry was healthy, he was good. But now he's not healthy. You're not getting much. Those shoulders are done. I think they're done now. But every spot that you would normally put him, like our biggest thing with Kendall Dolby was I expected him to play a lot because Eli Bowen's ankle. That's when I was like, we're probably going to see a lot of Kendall Dolby at corner. He played a little bit at corner to start the year. But when Eli got back, Eli started looking like Eli again. And you're like, dang, what do we do?
And what that does is that pushes Eli as a true corner. I mean, he's an all-conference corner. And Kendall Dolby is having to shift back over to corner while dealing with a lot of issues. And Gilroy, like, Cortland Guillory, like, hats off to you, son. Like, you balled out. And you got to be excited. So these guys still want to play, especially for Dolby, especially for Kobe, because what has to happen, this is your last year. You can't fulfill your dreams to go to the NFL if you're playing 12 snaps a game. You just can't. And so it is like, hey, listen, if you want to do this, we love you, we support you, and I promise you this coaching staff will give nothing but rave reviews to Kobe McKenzie. For any coaching staff that calls him up. Now, as I said about Kendall last week, I don't want your ass on our schedule. I want you going somewhere else. Like, go somewhere else. And I kind of said that back to him. Like, hey, man, I support you wherever you go. Just don't want to see it on the schedule. Like, go somewhere else. Because I don't ever want to have to root against you, brother. But I think that Kobe goes in somewhere. There's a couple things in his game. He's going to be a guy that fits in an appropriate system. But with what Brett Venables wants to do in this defense, Goodwin, everybody, that it's just the truth bomb that you don't want to have to see. And I mean, he is a semi-royalty of Oklahoma. Like I said, great dude. Engaged to Kinsey Hansen, right? So like she's on the AD search committee. Like this isn't a situation to where we're telling him, piss
Kick
off.
rocks.
We don't like you. This
Yeah,
is
no.
him like we want to help you achieve your goals, and we think you can better do it. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, I can see him doing that going home, going closer to home or whatever, where he's from down in Texas. I mean, I see people are talking about Texas Tech. I can see him hitting up TCU. There's a lot of different options for him or whatnot. And Jonathan, this is a great question. We don't know if Kip is gone. We don't know. We don't know if now I don't think Owen's gonna get lucky because I hate the NCAA and they always do that crap to players. So there's a level of disrespect that I expect out of the NCAA. But Owen, we don't know if Owen's gone yet. We have no clue. We'll find out in a couple weeks. But exactly, and with him being from Kip being from the Lubbock area, he may go home and play for a year. He may go somewhere else in the SEC. Knowing him, there's a very big possibility he may end up at an SEC school that we don't play. Because
SMU too.
You're right, SMU. Go get some money. Good money school. He fits a lot of defensive modes. The problem here was just his coverage wasn't the best. He didn't grade high in the coverage, but the dude stopped runs, and he did a great job of being a general of directing everybody on the defense. That's the reason why I wanted to keep him. But I get it. He gonna get him some bread. He gonna get him some bread, get him an opportunity to go play in the NFL. But I do expect now that this entire front, because this is the thing that, and I remember, and Nagy told me this himself. Telling y'all something Nagy told me from when I talked to him at SC Media Days. They came in and did a full eval of the roster initially, just an initial. Through spring practice and everything, and they marked down who they feel like was NFL ready, who's not. They marked down who you probably going to need some help going into the portal next year, who you won't. They did all of that. My anticipation is they took that same material and used it to eval throughout the season to see how they play in real scenarios, in game scenarios, and what does that look like. Now, because of that, you're going to see a lot more people hitting the portal. Kobe's not the only one. He's not going to be the only surprise. I promise you that. There's going to probably be at least 3 to 5 surprises that's going to hit. You're going to be like, whoa, that's a fan favorite. Fan favorite don't mean anything when your goal is to go for natties. When your goal is to go for deep playoff runs. They're going to push the limits. Now, we just got to hope that their collaboration between BV and Nagy in the front office, that they hit on all cylinders. So that's what you can hope for. But my estimation, Coop, you can speak on this as well. We're going to see a good 5+ players that y'all going to be like, dang, we losing him? But I will say safely, I think the defensive line will be just fine.
And we have said this now for 3 years. 3 years ago, there was a lot of people you're like, hey, so how many people are leaving? Because, I mean, can I help them pack? And then, like, last year, it was like, well, Crimson Missile hits the portal, and you're like, oh, man, that was a homesick situation.
He had a good game, too. He had a good
But then
season.
there were other guys, like Kanai Walker hits the portal, and you're like, I mean, he played well for us at times. And then now, and it's going to be even worse next year, there's going to be people who hit the portal that you're like, damn, it's either guys that have been playing and we've just been waiting to them to get some of that hyped potential. And then another situation where, like, with Kobe, it's like him leaving doesn't match up with what you're saying. And also, Jonathan, I think, but between Kobe and Kinsey's money, I think they got the money down already. So I don't think they're going to need a big bag to pay for anything. But I do think that you're trying to upgrade, right? You want to get what's best for your roster. It's a situation. Kobe's a better athletic and a slimmer window kind of decision, as with what's the defensive end guy who played linebacker, should have probably been playing defensive end, transferred to Houston 2 years ago.
To Houston? Oh, David Ogwebu.
Ogwebu, yeah. Same situation, just a lot less.
Yeah, a lot of people added the wrong spots. Yeah.
So, um, I mean, you're trying to get to what you want to. You want to optimize. You want to continue to get better. Now, this is a defense situation. Like you said, defensive line completely. I feel like it's going to be fine. I think we're probably going to see a couple of defensive backs potentially head out that you would say, hey, man, made really good plays throughout the season. But with the way that we are running 4 or 5 guys out at defensive back, you had Guillory, you had Eli Bowen, you had Jacoby Johnson out there. Davon Jordan out there. A lot of these guys are playing in big time, moments, and they say, "Well, I can do this." This staff might not look at them and go, with what we want to pay them for their production, they're going to ask for more. They're going to go seek it out somewhere else. You're also going to see the backside of that, where you're going to see a guy who balls out as a linebacker in another conference and then says, hey, I'm hitting the transfer portal, and I'd love to go play for that defense, because the amount of shine that so many guys got on this defense, that's attractive to a lot of people.
It is. Because that's what the spotlight is. Everybody's watching it. And that's what NFL scouts are looking at. Nagy is making sure to point out that stuff. And, NFL teams are looking like, I want to holler at their defense. I want to holler at those defenders. They are. Because it's funny, like, I did the video on it, and, like, it was spot on. Like, Colin Cowherd was talking about it with Josh Pate. And he was like, he talked about how surprised he was at Oklahoma. And his surprise was that they look like an SEC school. They look like a team that's in the SEC. Like, the difference is that you really only had 2 schools that had high-octane offenses in the SEC. It was LSU and Alabama. Georgia's offense was okay. It was mainly led by their defense. Don't get it twisted. It was really a big defensive team that had some offensive moments. But Bama, when Nick decided to add his 15th offensive coordinator, you start to see changes and evolutions in their offense. That's when he added Lane Kiffin, and then you saw the offense look different. But his defense was always stout. That's where we're at. Now we just need to get the other side of the ball going, and I feel like we'll have a jump. When Vanderbilt got Tim Beck as well as Diego Pavia, they went from the 2 wins to 7. Huge jump for them, right? Then year 2, they went to 10 wins. We went from our 6 to our 10, and this was the first year of this offense being in the SEC. Now Buckle understands the simplicities of how he did it. Now he can make these adjustments. He knows people are open, and now he needs to get John's eyes to that. John started finding open people. Those layered passes in that game was growth. All quarterbacks won't hit everybody, and the reason why all quarterbacks won't hit everybody is because the defense has set it up to where we're going to leave that dude open, but our job is to get pressure on the quarterback so he can't look over there. That's the goal, and we saw that in the way they did their flips and stunts. They were putting enough pressure to where Mateer he couldn't go through the full progressions like he wanted to. But baby, those layered passes, the Jermichael Carter one, the Deion Burks touchdown, actually both Jermichael Carters, the Deion Burks touchdown, the Giovanni Gibson catch, he missed him on one, but he got him on another one, right, with a layered pass. Canick's layered pass he caught, the Xavier Robinson catch that he caught that was right across the middle, and he ran it all the way to the 3. There was so many of those. And people are wondering, why was Mateer running so much? Because our running backs just was not there. That is why. You ran it with Torrey Blaylock when you could, but having that extra blocker in Blaylock as the runner helps Mateer find those little holes he did to get yards. The struggle was real. You could tell. But the good thing is Blaylock will be back next year. X-Rob will be back next year. You'll have Jonathan Hatton coming in, DeZeph Walker, right? You're probably going to portal in another running back. It's going to be some big stuff. Now, the question is, what are we going to do at tight end? I want to see Trinae Washington play, but it appears he wasn't ready. So maybe we get him next year. He's an athlete. So. He's big. He's an athlete. But he's got to learn. He got to block, though, because Dog Koenig was getting abused in the blocking game. It's so bad. And I felt so bad for him.
And he was, Koenig is going to be a guy who, I mean, let's just keep it real. Koenig's not. I don't know if Koenig's ever going to see it down in the NFL. His big opportunity is probably special teams, I just don't see it though, because most people who keep multiple tight ends are for run blocking packages. And I think that the skill set, from the running backs was hampered by injury, but also by just complete ineptitude on run blocking from the offensive line.
Yep.
But now you've got at least 4 positions that are set for next year. You're going to be able to, those guys are going to have to absolutely work on run blocking week in, week out from this point until September next year. I think September 3rd is our first game. But you got to find a tight end. That's kind of the missing piece, because when you keep guys, who linebackers, safeties, nickels, whoever is, got the tight end as the spy, like, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to pay attention to a tight end who can run block and who can go out. We've seen a lot less talent on other teams be successful at tight end. And Koenig, congratulations again on the All SEC. Yeah, listen. If I get lit up, but Koenig, if he can't block week in and week out right now, he ain't doing it in the NFL.
So take some time.
Yeah, I mean, if you put him on a roster spot for a potential H-back type of a situation, sure. But
I hope
Koenig
proves us wrong. I hope he does.
I would love to. I would
pray
absolutely love him to,
in every way, shape, or form. I think it's funny. People are like, I hope he does. I have been rooting for Koenig from day one, just like you, Coop. You have been a big supporter of his because of just how well, we love what Koenig has turned into. Hate that we didn't get him a touchdown, but it'll be all right. So from there, you got Dobie in the portal, you got Kobe in the portal, you got Jaden Gibson in the portal. That's really your 3 starts. The question had been asked in there, do we expect any coaching changes? Yes. Yes, I do. I expect some coaching changes on the offensive side of the ball. The question's going to be is who's going to try to woo away Oklahoma's defensive guys? The anticipation's there. I have a bad feeling that somebody's going to try. Remember, they tried with Bates and Chavis 2 seasons ago. I think at the end of last season, one of them, they tried on them as well. So keep your eyes open on that. It's going to be some rumors and stuff flying around on that, but I do anticipate offensive changes. I don't know what, but I do expect offensive changes. Arbuckle will be your OC for 3 years. He's going to get his full 3 years. Material will be your quarterback next season. The running back room is going to probably get a facelift. Wide receiver room may see a facelift. You're going to see some changes. Just know that. Which is a good thing. We kind of need it.
Let's see. I see, like, Brandon Hall has had a lot of courtship everywhere. So,
oh my God. So bad.
But I think that he is where he is. Like, he really enjoys where he's at. I think that Jay Valai is probably one that I would expect a couple people give him an elevated opportunity, not only to coach the defensive backs, but probably be a DC. I got to think that Chavis is going to start getting his offers.
Yep.
Chavis has such a great relationship and is so tight with BV that I really don't think that it's quite yet, because this was the first year that, like, there's a lot of focus in on what he's been doing. But I promise you, if Chavis is still here for the 28 season, I would be I'd put the odds very, very low. I think that 27 is probably the year that he gets his big offer. And I'm not saying, it's a Syracuse defensive coordinator. I'm talking about like an Auburn or, a bigger program like that. on the offensive side of the ball. I know who we all want gone, and I know who. And so there's some of you out there that will say everybody gone. Well, I tell you when, Arbuckle ain't going anywhere. This is year one, dude. Finally hasn't. Yeah, he's year one. He's got the opportunity to start, to making it, putting some things together. DeMarco, I believe that a lot of people want better out of the running backs. I think where a lot of that has been his fault at times. I don't think this year was really his fault. I would also say, like, we want a new tight ends coach. Like, everybody does. Everybody absolutely does.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the coaching staff figure that out. But yeah, we need to figure out the tight ends. We do. We really need to figure that out. Like, I want to see Trinae Washington. I need to see him get developed. I need to see him on the field. I want to see him play. He's the one of the young players. Watching him at Carl Albert and how much of an athlete he is. He played corner as well. He can do it. We need to get him the ball. Let him go out there and be your Gresham. Let him go do that. We'll see how that goes. But
I like that last. Emma Jones. That's the last one. I don't get to. They don't ask my vote. But a lot of people will wonder. Where has been the development of some of the wide receivers? Because if it's you didn't have the right people, but Satania, just made a lot of second and first team all SECs. Yeah, Hatton would be in there every single.
Robin Hatton would be running the ball every other play, and then I had Tori Blaylock doing Wildcats to mix it up. I would whatever needs to happen to get Tori and Tori Shoulder and X Rob's. I'm running 3 running back sets together. Wing T, baby. I'm gonna go straight Navy on them and just run it just down your throat nonstop, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, but we've got. There's going to be some stuff. And yeah, Jerry Schmidt rumor out there is he is retiring. If that ends up being the case, we'll see what happens from there. There's a lot of guys out there, but mentioned this a couple times recently. The SEC really struggled at tight ends this year. There was not a lot of tight end production. So anybody who is worth their dime is going to get offers, and you're not going to want to overpay for a guy coming in from the tight end position who is going to end up with 12, 15 catches at the end of the year because he's a really good blocking tight end. Like, that's going to be it. But yeah, get Jason Witten in here. And, I think that we're trending really well for Cooper Witten, which I want to see him because I think he's a badass linebacker, but also because my son's name is Witten. Cooper
Witten. Here we go. Here we go. Wow. Selfish.
I'll be selfish on that one. Hell yeah. I've told Jason and Coop.
Y'all shame Coop right now for that. No, actually, that's probably all of y'all agree with him. So it's not like I can actually shame this guy for being this selfish. But no, I totally agree because he would be really, really good. Having him
Alexander and Witten together coming in the same class. Sign me up. Sign me the hell up.
So yeah, we'll definitely dive into more recruiting and everything because there's a lot going on with that. Now, no, Evan, you shame Coop. We shame Coop here. We shame this man. But no, lastly though, just keep your eyes open. I'm gonna create a post over on the community here on YouTube, asking for your wish list. Go in there. Feel free to add names. Feel free to add links to players that pop up in the transfer portal that we want us to talk about. We'll scrub that every week to see what makes sense and what possibilities are out there. Right now, everything happens January 2nd. That's when. Let me clarify some things too. For the uninitiated, until January 2nd is when the portal opens. But for those that had coaching changes, the moment your coach changes, the portal opens for you. That's why you're seeing some people hit the portal now. That's why you're seeing some players commit to other schools. it's because their coaches have taken jobs. And they've got a new coach in town. So there's a long list of schools that have players that are portal. That's why you're seeing all the Auburn kids now, because they're actually eligible to hit the portal. So, that's the game. Be prepared for that. But January 2nd is when the floodgates open for everybody else. And then when teams finish the college football playoffs, you'll see more. So, truth be told, I don't know how many of those players you're going to actually want anyway. The ones that's going to hit the portal for the big schools that are deeper in the playoffs, they're usually second and third stringers that you're probably not going to want to touch anyway, unless you want them cheap. Keep your eyes open on that. Keep your eyes open on who y'all want everybody to go after. So, Coop, final words. We're going to get out of here. Let everybody enjoy their 7-day evening.
It is it's Christmas weekend. All right, guys, we are here. So, I want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Thank you again. That's how Jay started at this off, was just thanking you guys for tuning in. Man, I know it's not Thanksgiving, but super thankful for all you all. This season went by extremely fast, just really, really fast. And if you just look back from, what we're going to find out about this team against Michigan to now we beat Michigan, now we're going to win the Natty, to going to Texas the week after, I guess 2 weeks after John breaks his wrist, and everybody just wondering where was this team going to go, how you felt after the Ole Miss game. There's been a lot of ups and downs. Unfortunately, only one fan base is going to end up being happy about it at the end, and then we get to start all over again next year. And so Jay and I are going to continue to do this, and recruiting is going to be hopping up here. Got some good games ready to go this next go around, but appreciate everybody. And for Jay and I, just from myself, thank you for being here every single time that we fire this bad boy up. To all the Bama fans watching and tuning in to see what we say, congratulations on the great win. Now go kick the hell out of Indiana. Let's show them that it is different when you're in the SEC.
SEC. Yeah, I'm going to root SEC now for Bama as well as Georgia. I want them to both go out there and skull drag both of those games. Well, unfortunately, Georgia's playing Ole Miss, and yeah, I'm gonna go for Georgia. I'm gonna root for Bama to win. I need to see them in the semis, and then from there, I really don't care at that point. But Merry Christmas to you all. Make sure we'll see you before the new year hits. But thank y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe if you're listening to the audio version. There is an audio version. We have a podcast version of this. Sooner or Later Sports. Search for it on wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to. Find us. Follow Coop at Eric_Cooper 82. Follow me at UNFAIRSports on the socials. And you can find all the TikToks and all of that stuff. Unfair Sports TV. Just search for that. But we will talk to you all probably in a couple of days. Peace.